we were watching the State of the Union. I think a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this is more of a campaign speech." Yeah, it was for one. But I start to think, who is watching the State of the Union and is actually like convinced by Biden's sort of empty platitudes and overtures and saying, "Oh, I'm going to do all the shit," does none of it. Like he's basically saying, "I'm going to do all this stuff, but I'm only going to be president for like another like 10 months. So reelect me."
Right. It's going to be the type of people like the bitch tit Tom.
I will call it Tim. Call him Tim now.
He's a bitch tit.
Tim Nichols.
Whatever the fuck. These fake pundits and conservative pundits that want to get money from rags like the Atlantic or rags from the New York Times. So you're going to see David French come in and talk about. God, David he's French. Probably going to be coming in saying like the conservative case for Biden's next year or some garbage bullshit like that you're going to see him write for the New York Times. Mm-hmm. And they say this type of shit because they like that check that comes in the fucking mail from these fucking places.
Really?
And it's hilarious because you have the type of person like Tom.
Everybody has a price.
Nichols, who likes to blame the average American for the downfall of experts when he himself
is literally the expert who fell.
Not who just fell off. Who
fell off hard.
Is a shameless grifter.
Yeah.
Like he's a known shameless grifter. As
it is actually
American, you're not going to trust him.
It is absolutely amazing how the trajectory that what's his name? David French took with his writing career, with his columnist career, because he went from, respectable conservative
Christian.
Well, I think he's still Christian.
Well, I mean, the way he shits on Christians now compared to before is like it's totally different.
So basically, he's turned into Joe Biden,
right? Well, he's trying to say like you're not a good enough Christian and you're not a good enough conservative because you're not following what I'm telling you. That's basically a David French article. That's right. What it is. You're beneath me because I suck Jesus's dick.
I think it's interesting that he opened up by basically talking about the state of every other union. He's talking about Ukraine. He mentioned fucking Hitler in like the first couple sentences. And I don't know, it seemed like, and then he talked about Sweden, right?
Yeah.
And that was all in like the first 5 minutes.
So he was talking about Sweden
joining NATO.
Sweden and Finland joining NATO.
Sweden and Finland joining NATO.
Right. And
then he talked about Ukraine.
And he talked about Ukraine, and he talked about Putin.
And then he talked about
And he talked about
look at this.
His 4 million person bribe that he gave.
What?
The student forgiveness.
Oh yeah,
it's an absolute fucking bribe. Like that's how you have to talk about it.
That is totally. He's absolutely 100% bribing the people for votes. Everything that happened though tonight seemed very disingenuous. It was a test of wills, Jay, because it was a test to figure out just how insane he can make you. And honestly, he did a pretty good job of driving us insane.
Well, and it was really hilarious because you have people saying this is like the strongest State of the Union and stuff. In the first 30 minutes of it, he was calling all of his political opponents Nazis.
Right.
He was bringing in a comparison to 1941 State of the Union with FDR, talking about Hitler.
Right.
And he's like, and now I'm coming in the same. We have the same danger against democracy is happening right now. And he's talking about Donald Trump and he's talking about Republicans.
Yeah.
And you have to just see it for what it is. He took the opportunity to go on here and instead of unite people to talk about our common goal, he wanted to divide even further.
So this from Justin Wolfers, who tweeted, "My word, this is a muscular speech. So far, it's the strongest State of the Union opening I've ever seen." Who is this Justin Wolfers anyways? Oh, a professor at University of Michigan. Opinion discarded.
Absolutely, especially because he's fucking from Michigan. But if you see one of the tweets, if you go down.
Which one?
Go down, scroll down.
Oh,
one of the replies. There you go. That's it right there, baby.
Don't clap too loud, Jay. You're gonna wake up the baby.
I have an insane problem with my clapping.
You really
it's
need
like
to stop
one of
that.
the most annoying claps ever. And I don't mean it to be very loud.
I know.
Every time it's just, you know what it is?
What?
God gave me the power to clap cheeks.
Yeah, but you're clapping. You need to be clapping
so
cheeks.
when women hear the way I clap, they're going to understand.
Stop that shit.
Oh, sorry. They'll understand. You're like, stop that. My wife can hear.
No, it's not even my wife. If you wake up the baby, I'm forcing you to go put her back to sleep.
I know. I'm playing.
And I'm not letting you sleep until she's asleep.
I'm not going to do it anymore.
Get the fuck out of my house, Jay. Oh, I forgot to mention, Biden actually tried to, I wouldn't say tried to, I think he was successful in actually threatening the Supreme Court justices to their faces over abortion. And he actually had to read from a teleprompter in order to issue this.
And with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that.
It's like it was just an all, and you're about to
look at their faces. Even Sonia Sotomayor and Olega Kagan, they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, did he just? I mean, even
Ketanji Brown, you can't see it because there's another woman clapping in front of her face,
but she's also looking at it like, "What the fuck?" I mean, you can't. They want to delegitimize.
Yeah, no, look at her face now. That's definitely, she's definitely, that's a frown right there.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you even saying? And it's so funny because this is the type of rhetoric, and these are the type of things that happen that are detrimental to the norms of society that is the United States. SCOTUS has a huge role in checking executive power, and they hate that, and they want to get rid of it.
They want to expand. Well, they want to expand and pack the court because they want to be able to put on as many libs as they can, and basically dilute the vote.
Right. But if you had Trump go after them the way that the Democrats go after them, you would hear it nonstop from the media, and you're going to find out that zero people, especially like frauds like Jake Tapper, are going to actually call them out on this garbage.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would be very surprised if anyone on the in the mainstream corporate media actually said something negative about Trump, about Biden's speech.
Oh, it's going to be a very, very hard thing to see.
Very
especially his fucking what's it called? His idea for Gaza is to have American boots on the ground in the ports of Gaza.
We all know that they're going to get killed basically like tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, you put Americans on the ground. One of those Americans are gonna they're gonna get got, right.
Well, I mean,
Hamas is going to target them.
We saw that happen from the Houthis.
Right. No, but I'm just saying that Hamas is going to specifically target these American troops, and all of a sudden you're going to have a fucking all-out war.
And dude, did you notice how 13 members of Afghanistan were missing from here? And not only that, also the 3 who were killed recently this year.
Yeah. None
of their family were there. None of them were talked about. And we have the media members talk about how Biden is such a compassionate consoler in chief,
right? Because
of Bo and how he talks and lies about Bo dying in Iraq.
Yeah.
But he didn't have there. 0 of them were actually there.
So this is an interesting
that's not going
moment.
to get called out either.
No, it's not. This
especially Jake Tapper, you fucking fraud. That is something that if you actually cared about veterans and you actually cared about the armed forces, like you pretend to tweet about, you would actually talk about this. But he's not going to because he's a fucking fraud. Jake Tapper, the fraud.
Biden finally addresses the murder of Lake and Riley. Yeah, this is a moment I actually didn't think was going to happen, but it happened.
It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
But what is he saying? Like
my son, and also I've had children who were killed. My son Bo was killed by an illegal immigrant, an illegal alien.
Dude, I was waiting for that too.
I know he was definitely going in that direction.
I honestly thought that he was actually gonna say.
I know
Bring
the
his son
family.
into
I know
it.
the family of Lake and Riley, and they can relate to my son also dying at the hands of an illegal alien.
In Iraq.
Yes.
The guy the shamelessness that he uses the deaths of his kids
Bro.
is sick.
One of the biggest scam artists, con artists of this century. Look. It is a politician's job to lie. It's basically inherent, right?
Yeah.
Joe Biden has been a career politician for over 50 years. And the fact that people still take him at his word and still think that he's some sort of good guy is a ruse that I don't understand how anybody continues to believe.
A loving family man is what they say.
A loving father.
A loving father. This is from our objective, unbiased journalists.
Absolutely insane. So let's see. There are a few other things. Oh, this is good from Long Monkey Pox. Say his name, Lincoln Riley. What do you think? What is the University of South Carolina? I'm sorry, it's not South Carolina. What is the University of Southern California going to do now after Lincoln Riley? Poor guy.
I don't know.
Really
He's
feel
stuck at college football.
Really feel bad for his family right now.